What is up, guys? Brad Mew here, bringing you guys your Week 4 OBA match against the Washington Sammurots, aka Attack on Samurot. His YouTube link will be in the description, so if you guys want to go check out his side of the battle, I highly suggest you go down there and check that out. Before the video starts, please drop a like down below, and if you are new, hit that subscribe button down below as well. That would really help me out. Support your Grassy Plains Raikous. We are going to Week 4. We are in two to one right now. 2 wins, 1 loss. So I'm gonna tell you guys right now. Literally 45 minutes before we had this battle tonight, I was sitting there looking at the rosters. Tyranitar completely rips apart my draft. I'm gonna tell you guys that right now. It completely rips apart my draft. Mandibuzz does absolutely nothing to it. It gets two-shotted by, even defensive form gets pretty much two-shotted by Rock Slide or Stone Edge. Cofagrigus gets two-shotted even in defensive form with Crunch. It completely rips apart my draft. The only thing that really kind of stopped it was probably a defensive Poliwrath, but I really did not see the point of bringing that when he has a Venusaur also drafted. It gets really walled by a lot of stuff on his draft. Especially if he has a Latias and stuff like that as well. I'm sitting there looking at the draft. I'm thinking of stuff that I can really go over for this. Basically, my two hard hitters, my dedicated things, if he did bring the Tyranitar, were my Scizor and were my Sylveon. My Sylveon was originally going to be Choice Scarfed because, unfortunately, Tyranitar is base 61 speed and Sylveon is base 60 speed. So if I would not be in speed invested, he would still outspeed me. If he's just normal, no speed investment as well. So I had to run the Choice Scarf. I was going to be running max speed, max special attack, just to outspeed a decent amount of stuff on his team. I could have outsped probably the Medicham. Going to be running the Timinator as well, just to give him as much outspeed as possible. Could have outsped maybe, if he was not running speed investment in his Venusaur, I could have popped it with a Psyshock, Psychic as well maybe. Also was originally going to bring a Rotom Frost defensive. I'm sitting there looking at this, and it's not even a really good, to be honest, it's not really even a good Tyranitar counter. It's Stone Edge completely almost two-shot. It actually almost one-shots me. I live on around about 10%, so it doesn't really matter. I get the Will-O-Wisp off outspeed, but still at -2, he still pretty much 2 hits KOs me at no matter what. So Rotom Frost was not going to be a dedicated counter. I really take a big risk in this match, saying he's not going to be bringing the Tyranitar, just for the sheer reason that Sylveon and Scizor really shut it down, along with Poliwrath. So I take a super huge risk going into this match, because otherwise, if he would have brought the Tyranitar going into this match, he would have completely destroyed my damn team in this match. Completely bops Cofagrigus, one-shots my Heatran. He completely bops my Scizor because I am not defensive. I am actually offensive Scizor. I would have outsped though, so it probably would have been one of my counters for it. Earthquake one-shots Jolteon. Jolteon cannot do anything in return to it. I think Thunderbolt one does about 25% max. Typhlosion, a Focus Shot, a Focus Blast is a 2-hit KO, but he can one-shot me in return, so I need to have some damage on him before I can at least take it out. And Sylveon was probably one of my counters as well if I would have been running the Choice Scarf. Since I'm not though, he would actually outsped me. Earthquake would have almost one-shotted me, and a Hyper Voice only is a 2-hit KO still. So would have completely ripped apart my team. I'm just gonna say that right now. I could take a super huge risk going into this match, saying he's not going to be bringing the Tyranitar. I am so relieved when I see the team preview. You guys do not know how relieved I am. Basically, the two big threat he actually did draft was his Gramble. His Gramble is a very big threat to my team. I do not have a dedicated counter because I can hit all my walls for super effective damage. It gets Earthquake for Heatran. It gets Play Rough, which bops Mandibuzz. Even if I wanted to run defensive Poliwrath, Play Rough still gives it 2 shots when it's defensive. So my counter for that was Scizor. If I am not -1, Iron Head is a 2-shot if I'm at normal attack. If I'm at -1, it does around about 30 to 35%. So gotta look out for that as well. That and Sylveon does outspeed naturally, so that was one of my counters to that as well in this match. Jolteon also putting in a lot of work in this match as well. Basically, once I get rid of the Blastoise and the Volcarona, Typhlosion really has a fun time with this team. I'm actually running a defensive Cofagrigus with the Will-O-Wisp, Toxic Spikes, Pain Split, and Knockoff. Special defensive Heatran with the Rock Slide for Volcarona, dedicated for Volcarona. Toxic to whittle down such things as probably like Spiritomb. If I had to stay in on Latias, I would have Toxic that thing. I don't know what else. Rock Slide for Volcarona, like I said it before. Lava Plume just for Venusaur probably. And what was the last move? Oh yeah, and Stealth Rocks, because once his Blastoise or his Skarmory are gone, or his Latias is gone, he has no more Defoggers, so I have to get rid of those as soon as possible and then set up my rocks. Once they are gone, he cannot get rocks easy. Scissor bringing the offensive set with U-turn, X-Scissor, Bullet Punch. Bullet Punch mainly for the reason because of 2-hit KOs. Medicham. However, a Fire Punch does 1-hit KO me in return, so I have to look out for that. I have to play around that as well. Bad things about it though, it does get walled by Venusaur, so I gotta look out for that as well. Bullet Punch, Iron Head, X-Scissor, U-turn on that. Especially offensive Jolteon. Modest, Maximum Stack, Max Speed, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Hidden Power Ice, Shadow Ball, same set I've been usually running. It was just too good. Jolteon literally ripped apart most of his draft, so that's why I had to bring it. Choice, Scarf, Typhlosion. Literally just running the Choice Scarf because if I was not Choice Scarfed and I was Specs, his Volcarona could have a possibility of outspeeding me as well. That if he was running a Choice Scarfed Latios. Actually, Latios would probably outsped me, or Latias would have outsped me anyway, so I have to run the Choice Scarf for that as well, if you would have run that. I'm running the Eruption, Hidden Power Grass for Blastoise mainly, Hidden Power Grass, Flamethrower, and Focus Blast for Tyranitar, like I said earlier. Mainly that's all it's for. And a defensive Sylveon, which was a dedicated counter to Granbull. Just so a little bit of a counter to Granbull, so I can play around. Just getting some damage on that thing. I can use this to soak up hits and stuff like that. Max defense, max HP, running the Hyper Voice, Shadow Ball, Psyshock to bop Venusaur and stuff like that. Hyper Voice just for Latias and hits things for very good damage. Even though I'm not invested, it still pops a lot of things on his team. Calm Mind, in case I got a chance to actually set up. Something I was probably going to start setting up on was probably either Skarmory or something that really can't touch me. Spiritomb was one of those things I was going to probably set up on, along with Luxray. We're going to hop into this. We're already 7 minutes deep. I do apologize, guys, for the long intro, but we're going to get into this. This is one hell of a match. He's going to leave his Volcarona. I'm actually going to predict him to lead with his Medicham or his Skarmory. So I'm going to leave with Cofagrigus. I'm going to stay in here predicting actually either a Quiver Dance or something here. He actually going to go for the Toxic. I'm just going to go for the Will-O-Wisp, making a very, very hard read on the first turn, which was kind of a mistake. I actually predict him to either go out into his Blastoise or his Venusaur. So just want to get some residual damage off on that thing. I'm going to go out to Heatran here. He completely walls Volcarona unless he has Hidden Power Ground, like I said earlier. Hidden Power Ground is only a 2-shot though, so I can play around it accordingly if we do see Hidden Power Ground. And I am Special Defensive, so that's why. He's going to U-turn out here, predicting the switch. Now he's going to go to Blastoise. Another thing I really realized in this battle is because Blastoise really rips apart this team. I do not have a dedicated switch in to make a Blastoise, so I really need to get this thing out of here as fast as possible. Jolteon completely counters this thing though. Even if he is running a special defensive set, Jolteon really puts in work against it. I'm going to stay in here. I wanted to see how much a Scald does to me, and I wanted to get off the Toxic. Toxic was super important. I did not have any other way to whittle this thing down. This was actually probably one of the biggest threats to my team, so I really want to get this thing on a timer. Just in case if I came to stalling it out, I could stall it out if I needed to. I'm going to switch out here. I'm going to go right out into Sylveon here. I'm a defensive Sylveon, but I still have a decent amount of special defense. I have base 130 special defense, so can eat up Scalds decently well. No burn as well. We have the leftovers, so we can get some decent HP back. I'm just going to go for a Hyper Voice here. I want to get as much damage off on this thing as possible. If he switches out into Venusaur, it's okay. I can play accordingly. He's going to go right out into Venusaur like I predicted. Tropicana. Please bringing this thing in on me is probably special defensive Venusaur, which I'm assuming at this point it was. But I'm actually going to make the double predicting that. Go out to Jolteon here, go for the Volt Switch, get a little bit of chip damage off on this thing. Right here, I'm going to actually try telling if it is special defensive Venusaur. Unfortunately, it is not enough damage to really tell, so I cannot tell at this point if he's special defensive or a defensive Venusaur. He's just going for Leech Seed. Good play on his part. I'm going to go right on the Scissor, though, predicting either a Leech Seed or an Earthquake, because I know he'll at least take one Earthquake. It's not Stab. He has like absolutely no attack, so that's the reason why I go into Scissor here. He can get his HP back all he wants. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to Mega Evolve here and go for the U-turn. Really didn't know what the thing really had to touch me with. I could have been running Hidden Power Fire, which was one of the things on my mind at this point in the match. Either Hidden Power Fire or something like that. Wanted to get out of there as fast as possible, just in case he did have the Hidden Power Fire. Gonna go right out into Heatran, scouting for the Hidden Power Fire right here. We did not see the Earthquake as well in this match. He actually went double Leech Seed, so he's actually predicting switches here as well. So very good play on his part. He is Black Sludge. That's all I do know at this point. Can't really tell if he's defensive or special defensive either. So we're in here with Heatran right now. I could have stepped the Stealth Rocks, but I thought it was a little bit too early on in the match because he does have his Skarmory around still, and he does have his Blastoise around as well. I'm actually going to make him either, I'm actually going to predict a Twitch here. Predict him actually go out into his Blastoise again. I'm going to go right out into my Jolteon. This is a very good switch for me here because I am able to outspeed this thing and pop it with a Volt Switch here. Volt Switch actually almost does half, so I know this thing is not special defensive. It has to be either defensive or it's a all-out attacker. Grand Bull at this point, so that's something I do know. He actually carries Earthquake, so I'm going to make the neutral play. Could have went out into Heatran, predicting a play rough. I really did not see the point when I have Sylveon there ready to eat up a move. Going to go right out into Sylveon. I do outspeed this thing, even though I'm not investing in speed. He's going to go out into his Venusaur. I just wanted to go for the Hyper Voice right here, so I'm just going to go for it. I'm not investing in special attack or anything, so it's not going to do absolutely anything to this thing. He's Black Sludge. I can't really tell if this thing is either special defensive or defensive at this point in the match either, because it's more of a roll. I'm getting a lot of rolls here, so that's why I really can't tell at this point. It's either defensive or special defensive. Scissor really takes a hit from Scissor, so I'm not quite sure yet. Just gonna go for Psyshock. I wanted to really test if it was defensive or special defensive. Like I said, he's gonna go right out into Volcarona. I'm assuming this thing at this point is probably special defensive. The way he's switching it in on me. Not quite sure what it can do to me. I was assuming maybe a Quiver Dance was coming my way right now. However, I'm just going to stay in. I really do not need my Sylveon at this point. It was kind of low, so I just wanted to stay in and get as much damage off as I could. He just U-turns out and goes right out into Skarmory though, so we're going to keep the Sylveon, I guess, for a little bit longer. I was planning to actually kind of stack it at this point because I really don't need it. The only thing it really does work to, it can take one more Earthquake at this point from Gramble, and it can probably eat up one hit from Medicham if it need be. But Bullet Punch does a lot. It's 2-hit KO, so 2-hit KO from that range I was at right there. So he's gonna set up a Stealth Rocks, which is a bad thing. I do not have a Rapid Spinner or Defogger on this team. I wasn't really gonna bring Exetu this week either. I really did not see the point. Again, Tyranitar really completely shuts it down, so that's why I did not bring it. I already said all the shit in the beginning of the match. I'm just gonna get into the match. Gonna go right on to Scissor here. Actually predict a double switch. Actually predicts him to go right out into his Blastoise. So that's why I actually go into Scissor. He does outspeed me. He is base 70. I think it's base 70. He's base 78 speed. I think. I know he outspeeds Heatran by 1 base point. So I am all out offensive. I think I'm a Jolly. I think I'm Adamant or Jolly. So just gonna go for a U-turn here, predicting either Gramble or Skarmory to come in here. There was no really point to go for X Scissor anyways. So didn't really know what Gramble wanted to do to me. So I'm just gonna go right out into Jolteon here. That switch really made me get a lot of momentum because either he goes out into he has nothing really to take a Thunderbolt from Jolteon at this point. He's gonna stack this thing off. That is a huge threat out of my way right here. So Scissor going to be sticking around for a lot longer, along with Heatran, because it did have Earthquake. Going to go for Volt Switch here. By that damage, I do 100% surely tell now that he is a special defensive Volcarona. So I'm assuming he's probably running Toxic. He has Toxic, he has U-Turn. I'm assuming maybe Roost at this point. Roost, probably a Fire type move or a Bug type move. So that's why I was assuming at this point. Usually that's what you see on either defensive or special defensive Volcarona anyways. So he's going to U-turn out at predicting my switch into Scissor. I'm just going to go for a Bullet Punch here. He could have went for a Fake Out, which I was predicting. I could take a Fake Out and a Bullet Punch. He's just going to Baton Pass out though, so I'm guessing he's predicting a switch out into Jolteon or something there. Not quite sure. Bullet Punch is a 2-hit KO on the thing though, so if he does come in again and my Scissor is in on it, I can just go for a Bullet Punch no matter what. He's going to go out into his Volcarona here. I cannot stay in. Going to go right out into Heatran. If he wanted to go for the U-turn again, it was completely fine. I could play it accordingly. He's just going to Roost, so we know he has Roost 100% sure like I predicted. Either at this point, I know he either has a Fire type move, a Bug type move, or he's running Hidden Power Ground. He hasn't shown me yet, so he's going to go for Toxic, predicting a switch. I'm just going to set my Stealth Rocks here. It was a perfect time in the match to set up Stealth Rocks because his Blastoise was at the point where a Jolteon, I think a Thunderbolt from Jolteon would have killed it. So that my Cofagrigus is around, so if he wants to go for Rapid Spinning, I can go out that and Spin Block if I needed to. Just going over Lava Plume, predicting Blastoise to come in here. I really did not want to go for anything else. I do have the Rock Slide, but I thought it was a little bit too early to reveal it yet. Did not want to reveal it this early. He's just going to stay and go for a Roost again. I'm very surprised here. I'm just going to sit in here. I'm not going to switch out or anything. If he wants to sit in here and try stalling, he can. I'm just going to click Rock Slide. I really didn't care if it was revealed at that point, though, if he would have switched. It is a 2-hit KO, even though I'm not invested in an attack. It's 4 times effective. That's the reason being it does so much damage. At this point, the Stealth Rocks are up, so he has to U-turn out here no matter what. If he wants to save this thing and get those rocks off the field, he either has to go out into Skarmory or he has to go into Blastoise. So to get rid of rocks if he wants to preserve his Volcarona, because it is below half and it takes 50% coming in from rocks. So the main reason probably why I was wanting to get rocks up and that, and do a little bit of chip damage to Skarmory when it does come in. Rock Slide, it does absolutely nothing to this thing. Right here, I make a super hard read, making him either go for the Rapid Spin. That's basically the only reason he brought this thing in, either go for the Rapid Spin, so his Volcarona can stay around. His Volcarona does really pressure my Scissor, so I'm going to go make a super hard read here, go out, predict the Rapid Spin, go out to Cofagrigus. However, he predicts that, and he actually goes for a Scald, so that's very, very bad. Cofagrigus getting whittled down here. If he was at higher HP, I could have went for a Pain Split, but since he's at so low HP, it's not really even worth it anymore. I don't think I would be able. I can't talk. Wouldn't be able to get anything back anyways. So that and I'm poisoned. I was planning to sack this thing off anyways. So nothing I can really do. It is a counter to Medicham, I guess, but I'm gonna let that counter go down here, which could be a big, big mistake in the later part of this match if it did go out. At this point, though, he either has to sack this thing off. Sacking off my Cofagrigus, I guess, was the right play there, because that would force him not to Rapid Spin. Unless he does have Defog on his Skarmory, he can get rid of those rocks. So, Volt Switch going to take this thing out. And at this point, since his Granbull and since his Volcarona is dead to rocks and his Blastoise is gone, it is the perfect opportunity to go out to Choice Scarf Typhlosion here and completely wreck his team. I am Choice Scarfed, I am Timid, max speed, max special attack, running the Focus Blast, Hidden Power Grass, Eruption, and Flamethrower. Since I am whittled down from rocks, Eruption will not do as much as Flamethrower now, so I'm going to go for Flamethrower. I actually calc it if he was special defensive, it still would have killed anyways, so along with this thing, it goes down to rocks, so not a big problem at all. Probably the only thing that would have stopped this Typhlosion. Little bit of sweep here. Now we can go into Venusaur. If this thing was special defensive, I did calc it. It still kills. It does around about 95% anyways. So would have been actually a 1-hit KO if I was Choice Specs modest, but I'm not. Now we can go to Metacham here. I was assuming either a fake out here and a bullet punch combo, which is probably what the best he could have did. He doesn't even bother going for the fake out or the bullet punch, so I guess it's GG at this point. Your Grassy Plains Raikous picking up a 5-0 victory right here. I did not expect whatsoever to pick up a 5-0. I really did not. If he would have brought Tyranitar, he would have completely fucking swept this team. The only thing that really counters it is Scissor and Sylveon. If those two are gone, then he completely sweeps my team. So, got super lucky this week with him not bringing Tyranitar. Originally, the original plan with defensive Rotom and all that scarfed Sylveon, I threw it away. I made a super hard read on what he was going to bring. I guess it paid off, but yeah, defensive Rotom is complete garbage, I guess. Depends on what you're going against, though. It can wall certain things, I guess, but it's so weak to so many types, I guess. So that's really the reason I really did not like it as much as well. So kind of glad I threw away that plan. Even if he did bring Tyranitar, I still would have won in this match. I still would have went 100% on him. Would have did as best I could. Probably would have lost, but however, we're going to be picking up a 5-0 victory. I'm pretty sure we are number 2 in the division right now. I think we're either number 1 in our division and we're at number 2 overall. I'm not quite sure as of right now, but it should be updating in the next couple days. Next week we will be taking on KPG in the Kansas City Kingdras, so that's going to be one hell of a match. Especially with a lot of they have super like a few Pokemon that really counter my draft. So I'm gonna really have to prepare for those as well. I'd like to thank all you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoy. Drop a like down below. If you are new and made this far, hit that subscribe button as well. That really helps me out. Your coach is the Grassy Plains Raikous. We will see you guys next week for week 5. Peace.